Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Chapter 2, Contents of the Gita summarized. Text 52. Yadā te moha-kalilaṁ buddhir vyatitariṣyati tadā gantāsi nirvedam śrotavyasya śrutasya yadā moha-kalilaṁ buddhir vyatitariṣyati tadā gantāsi nirvedam śrotavyasya śrutasya. Word for word meaning. Yadā, when. Te, your. Moha, of illusion. Kalilam, dense forest. Buddhi, transcendental service with intelligence. Vyatitariṣyati, surpasses. Tadā, at that time. Gantāsi, you shall go. Nirvedam, callousness. Śrotavyasya, toward all that is to be heard. Śrutasya, all that is already heard. Cha, also. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Everybody please repeat. When your intelligence has... Sorry, okay, we'll do it again. All together. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Purport. There are many good examples in the lives of the great devotees of the Lord, of those who became indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Kṛṣṇa and his relationship with Kṛṣṇa, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities. Even though an experienced brāhmaṇa, Śrī Mādhavendra Purī, a great devotee and ācārya in the line of the devotees, says, Sandhya vandana badram astu bhavato bhushrana tubhyang namo buddheva pitarascha tarpana bidho nahang kshama kshamyatang yatra kvapi nisadya yadava kulutumasasyakam sadvisa Smarang smarang aghang harami tad alam anye kim anye name. Oh, my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. O bathing, I offer my obeisances unto you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendant of the Yadu dynasty, Kṛṣṇa, the enemy of Kṛṣṇa, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. The Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes. Comprehending all kinds of prayer 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully in Kṛṣṇa consciousness and is engaged in his transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord Kṛṣṇa, he has no longer to execute different types of penances and sacrifices, as recommended in revealed scriptures. And similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of the Vedas is to reach Kṛṣṇa and is simply engages in the rituals, etc., then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Persons in Kṛṣṇa consciousness transcend the limit of Shabda Brahma, or the range of the Vedas and Upanishads. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta Purport on text 52 of the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Contents of the Gita Summarize. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yadā te moha-kalilaṁ buddhir vyatitariṣyati, tadā gantāsi nirvedaṁ śrotavyasya śrutasya. So, in this text, the karma kanda activities is being explained, being like in a dense forest of delusion or illusion. Same. Delusion, illusion is moha. Moha-kalilaṁ. That means the whole material world is a dense forest of illusion. It's like jungle, but it is very, very dangerous, because in the jungle there are many animals, wild animals, and you have to be extra careful. That's where they're trying to survive. Everyone, the fierce animals, they're the one who survive the most, eating the other lesser animals. It says the lion is the king of the jungle, but it is not really. I've seen a video, a big hippopotamus running after the lion. The lion is so scared. If that is the king of the forest, then you should not be afraid. But everyone is afraid of each other. So the material world is compared to that. It's like a jungle, and there are many wild animals. Those wild animals are actually the living beings in human platform, who, as we've heard, two-legged animals. But they're also considered to be rational animals. That means they can reason what to do or what not to do. And this is the purpose of human form of life, to understand what is to be done and what is not to be done. And one should not be attached to the results of one's activities. Now, the problem here is that everyone wants to enjoy, because the nature of this world is to be happy. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone would like to live in such a way that they are very comfortable and nicely situated. And hook by crook, they will do anything and everything to attain this, even though they are frustrated and they are not able to fully satisfy themselves. As we've heard in the Shastra, chewing the chewed. So the Karma Kanda section of the Vedas are for those who are in ignorance. They want to enjoy, but somehow they can make some advancement later on when they have concluded that I cannot be fully satisfy my senses with the sense objects. It's not possible. So, as it says here also in the Purport, Prabhupada says, there are many good examples in the lives of the great devotees of the Lord, of those who became indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. Can you name any example?
Yes. Patnis.
The Nagapatnis?
No. Brahmana.
Brahmana. The Brahmanas' wives. The wives of the Brahmanas. Yeah, the Brahmanas, they're just performing their ritualistic activities when the cowherd boyfriends, because one day Kṛṣṇa and Balaram, somehow or other, they said that they became hungry. How can the Lord be hungry? They're always fully satisfied. But part of the pastime is to engage the Brahmanas who are very absorbed in their ritualistic activities, performing sacrifices just to get into a higher status. So they will do this. Swaha, swaha, swaha. And when the cowherd boys, they came to ask for food, they didn't even say anything. They didn't even notice them. So they went back, and then Kṛṣṇa and Balaram says, why don't you go and ask the wives? So the wives are actually devotees of the Supreme Lord. I was thinking also about Dhruva Maharaj, because his desire in the beginning is to have a kingdom better than his father. So he wanted to perform some tapasya, because his mother told him that the only one who can help him is Lord Vishnu. And I was reading the other day, the root cause of how Dhruva Maharaj achieved the darshan of Lord Vishnu is because of his crying. He was crying. He wanted to go on the lap of his father, but then the stepmother says, no, you have to be born from my womb. Then you can sit on the lap of King. What's the name of his father? King Uttanapad, yes. And the father cannot do anything, even though he loved his son so much, Dhruva. So he's just a 5-year-old boy, and because this is the nature of the Kshatriyas, they are fearless, they are brave, they are courageous. So even though as a young boy, can you imagine a young boy, you have a, let's say, a 5-year-old son, let's say Govind says, Father, I'm gonna go and search to the forest about, I want to see Govinda because, he's the only one who can help me. Will you let him go? 5-year-old, barely able to walk. He doesn't know. And the forest, he's going to the forest. And the forest, again, is wild animals. Because, yes, Mother says, you go to the forest because I've heard he's the only one who can help you. So alone he went and he met Narad Muni. Then Narad Muni asked him, oh, what are you doing here? What is your purpose? Oh, I'm looking for Govinda. I'm looking for Lord Vishnu. He says, no, you go home. It's very dangerous here. You cannot survive here for long. He says, do you know where I can find him? No, you go back. This is not good for you. No, I'm going. If you cannot tell me how to search for him, how to look for him, then get out of my way. I will go. I will go myself. Then Narad Muni is I concluded myself, it's not written anywhere, that Narad Muni is the spiritual master who has the most disciples. Because since time immemorial, he's been initiating. I gave this class in Los Angeles, and I gave this statement. And in the end, he says, Maharaj, where is it written that Narad Muni has the most disciples? I says, come on, if you can find a guru that has more disciples than him, you let me know. He has a snake disciple. Yeah, he has a snake disciple, right? He has a king disciple. He will Haryasvas, so many Prachetas, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, all the kings, even Mrigari the hunter, animal killer, all different walks of life. Narad Muni has a disciple. And he's been initiating, he's still initiating right now. And then the devotee says, well, I could say Radhanath Swami has also more disciples. Yeah, maybe, but not more than Narad Muni. So Narad Muni, he gave him mantra to chant. And within 6 months, see, his initial purpose or motivation to look for Lord Vishnu is to get a kingdom better than his father. But then, when he had darshan of Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan, his mind changed. He says, before I was looking for broken glasses, but now I found diamond. What is the comparison between broken glasses? It's like most of the, if not practically everyone, because it's very difficult to get diamond. So they are only satisfied with imitation diamond in this material world. And they will think that they are happy even though they have this imitation diamonds. So the whole, the word here has been, I'm very interested into this word. You shall become indifferent. What is the meaning by indifferent?
Not affected.
Not affected is not. Yeah, it's like indifference means
Neutral.
you're neutral. It's not that you are not concerned, but it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect you. And because of the modes of material nature, sometimes we're in the mode of passion, and mostly in the mode of ignorance and passion, and maybe sometimes a little bit of goodness. So a little bit of misunderstanding, a little bit of commotion, we got carried away. Because of the bodily concept of life is so thick that we got affected. And we have many instances just, in the past, even here in Vrindavan, devotees get into, not quarrel, but misunderstanding. Someone will say you something which, even if it is not true, you'll get affected. And even if it's true, you should not be affected also. Especially negative things. Especially things that it is not very favorable. So a devotee of the Lord, because he is on the transcendental platform, he is not acting on the bodily concept of life, then he is indifferent. He is not affected. He knows that everything happens according to Krishna's will. Everything that is happening must have a reason. Nothing happens by chance. Even if you are the victim, let's say, then you will blame the others. No. There must be something that happened in the past that you are getting the result of what's happening right now. And this needs a lot of maturity to understand. Because the tendency is we blame each other. And if there is anybody to be blamed, it is me only. Because of my past, I had that desire and it was not fulfilled. And the result, either I will enjoy or suffer in the future. Now, I may be receiving it now. And only due to this, another person, maybe, yes, a practicing devotee. But a genuine devotee will not harm another devotee. A prakrita bhakta, there's a tendency, because of being a materialistic, there's a tendency to not act properly. So at least we have to be very, very, before we say something, we have to think not even 3 times, 4 times, 5 times more, something like this. Because the tendency is that the tongue is quicker than the mind. The mind is very fast, right? But the tongue, the senses also is very, and usually the first reaction is wrong. You know, when you react immediately to a situation, the one who is in the mode of goodness is very calm. He's very peaceful. He is not affected as much as those who are in the bodily concept of life. So, yes, indifferent meaning that you're not. It's not that you don't get you're not concerned. It's just like, because material things comes and go. That is the nature of material things. Any material situations, it will come and go. The only thing that is permanent is the Supreme Lord. I mentioned that earlier also. The Supreme Lord, the devotees, and the service towards the Supreme Lord. That's the only things that remains here, doesn't change. So Mādhavendra Purī is given here as an example of a great devotee in our line of disciplic succession, Mādhavendra Purī. He is the spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, who served him in the last days of his life, his Guru Maharaj. He took care of him, and in doing so, the result of that is that Ishvara Puri became the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mādhavendra Purī is a Mahabhagavat. When he sees there's a rain cloud, he will faint. Why? He will remember Kṛṣṇa. That is the color of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Bluish black. When he sees a peacock, he will faint. He'll remember of the peacock feather of Lord Kṛṣṇa. When he sees a tamal tree, he will faint. That's the color of Lord Kṛṣṇa. See, this is a devotee of the Lord. Whenever he sees things, immediately he connects them to Lord Kṛṣṇa. Unlike the materialist, when he sees things, he thinks, how can I enjoy this? Oh, this must be for my enjoyment, for my senses. No, a devotee always, when he sees something, oh, what a beautiful flower. Let me offer this to Kṛṣṇa. Immediately his consciousness is how to please Lord Kṛṣṇa or connect to Lord Kṛṣṇa. So, Mādhavendra Purī, at the end of his life, he was praying, oh, Lord of Mathuranath, where are you? Why have you forsaken me? I am not having darshan of you right now. Where are you? Where are you? And then there is one disciple of Mādhavendra Purī who is considered as somehow, again, the spiritual master, whoever takes shelter of him, he will never reject. He will always accept. This is Ramachandra Purī. Now, Ramachandra Purī is the opposite of Isvara Purī. Now, Ramachandra Purī is thinking, why is my guru thinking about, where is Lord of Mathura? Then he advised his guru, why don't you just meditate on the Brahman? It is better. You will immediately realize him. You don't have to cry. You don't have to look for him. And then Mādhavendra Purī says, you fool, you get out of my place. Get out of this place. Get out of my sight. So that's the opposite, Ramachandra Purī. So here he was saying, all my prayers 3 times a day, all glory to you. All bathing, I offer my... So these are seemingly, see, for the devotees, externally, they do all of these things. But it is not a ritualistic activity. It's not part of the karma kanda. It's like we get up early in the morning, we put on tilak, we go to the temple, we greet the deities. So the Mayavadis, they will say, oh, who are you worshipping? An idol? What are you singing? It's like when the Mayavadis, they saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Benares. They say, this is not our activities to sing the names of God. Our activities is to read the Vedas. No, this is not proper. Because he took sannyas from Mayavadi sannyasi, Prakashananda Sarasvati, to trick the Mayavadis to take up to the process of bhakti. So yes, it may look like what we're doing is like a ritualistic. Every day we do the same thing. And it's so amazing in Vrindavan, the time goes very fast. Isn't it?
Yes.
It's like you just woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and now it's like 6:30 in the evening. It goes very fast. It's almost, like we're in the middle of March, then now, or April, middle of April, and now it's like summertime, then it'll become Janmastami, and then it'll become Kartik again. It's too fast. But we're doing the same thing again and again. It seems to be like ritualistic kind of activities. But it is not. And even those who are in the topmost level of bhakti, they also follow this. It's not that they don't follow or they don't do the routine work of a devotee who's waking up early in the morning, chanting minimum rounds every day, doing parikrama. Just like Raghunath Das Goswami, he will offer 2,000 dandavats to the Vaishnavas, 1,000 dandavats to the deities. He will go parikrama every day, Sanatan Goswami. They will do all of these things. It will look like this is like, a routine what? And they're in the topmost level of bhakti. To show us example that Ultimately, it says here, if one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord, he has no longer execute different types of penances and sacrifices as recommended in revealed scriptures, but still he performs those kind of things. It is natural. There's no extra endeavor for that personality, that kind of personality. So similarly, if one has not understood that the purpose of Vedas is to reach Kṛṣṇa and just perform all of these different ritualistic activities, Vedaisya sarvair aham eva vedya. Of all the Vedas, I am to be known. If one just perform this karma kanda section of the Vedas to fulfill one's material desires, 100% able to follow, but then he missed that the goal is to achieve love of God, uncover the relationship with the Supreme Lord, then his activities actually is just a waste of time. Srama eva hi kevalam. He is uselessly wasting time in such engagement. But for us, even just a simple gesture of sweeping the floor, simple gesture of clapping one's hands in front of the deities, simple gesture of dancing in front of the deities is far greater than performing all of these different ritualistic ceremonies, because one will become more and more bewildered. He performed all of these activities and then he will just hanker for more and more and more, which will not satisfy him. And for the devotees of the Supreme Lord, such engagements in pure loving devotional service elevate oneself into transcendental platform. Seemingly normal, seemingly routine, seemingly just ordinary activities. Even washing pots, that is bhakti. Even washing pots. Watering tulsi, that is bhakti. It's like we sing every day. That is the topmost prayer. The prayer to Tulsi Devi. Hankering for a residence of Vrindavan, like that of following in the footsteps of the Brajabasis. Seemingly like a very simple song, but it's very, very deep longing to be associate of Radha Kṛṣṇa, Śrī Radha Govinda Preme, Sada Jena Bhasi, to be a resident of Vrindavan. And if you do that every day, water tulsi, sing, it says that anyone who circumambulates the deities, Tulsi Devi, what? Even the most heinous crime of committing murder to a brāhmaṇa is forgiven. And ultimately one reaches Goloka Vrindavan. Simple. You don't have to do so much elaborate, because this karma kanda section in the Vedas is very elaborate. Very entangling. Not just elaborate, but very entangling. And those who were captured into that kind of ritualistic activities, it takes some time for them. After some time, then they come to the Jnana Kanda section of the Vedas. Now just trying to learn the Sastra, but still not coming into the conclusion. Only when they understood, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Supreme Lord, that this is the conclusion. Bhaktyamang abhijanati gyavanya chasvi tatpataha. That only by devotional service I can be known. No one else. And also, anyone who performs these different ritualistic activities Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda or any sections in the Vedas, there should be a little tinge of bhakti. Because without tinge of bhakti, whatever they're endeavoring for will not become successful. Again, a useless, what Prabhupada says here, then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Srama eva hi kevalam. Just like in the 11th canto, it is given the example of trying to beat the rice, the husk, and you try to separate the rice, but there's no more rice. You're just beating the husk. I've seen that. I've seen that in India, right? You know, they will bring, you know, the wheat on the road, and then all the cars will just pass by. You've seen that? This is what you call lazy intelligent. They will. I've seen it like row after row after row. What is this? It's being separated in that way, because the husk will fly, and then they will like do some their expertise, and then they'll be able to separate the wheat from the small skin, right? Then they will go to the meal, and then they'll be able to make flour, with flour. So, but in the 11th canto, there's an explanation there, nice analogy that what can you get from the husk of the rice if the rice is not there anymore? You're beating and beating, try to get something. You're not getting anything. So the process is like that. Different section of the Vedas are meant for those even in the mode of ignorance. Even those who are in the mode of ignorance, they'll be able to elevate themselves after some time. But it takes bahunam janmanam ante jnanavamam prapajyate vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlava. Again, Mahatma, a great soul. We were reading in the Brahmachari Istagosti this afternoon, a Mahatma. A Mahatma is one who is engaged 24 hours in Kṛṣṇa consciousness. In India, we also have a Mahatma, Mahatma Gandhi. But that is not the meaning of Mahatma. Prabhupada says that. Mahatma is a devotee who is 100% engaged 24 hours in loving devotional service towards the Supreme Lord. Even while sleeping, Prabhupada says a devotee is doing service because he's taking his body to rest so that he'll feel refreshed, and when he gets up, ready again to perform service towards the Supreme Lord. And sometimes devotees, they eat less, they sleep less, bodily demands practically nothing. There is this one Babaji, Bamsidas Babaji Maharaj. You've heard of him? Huh? He's an avaduta. Sometimes he would chastise his deities. Today you will fast. Today you will not eat. And then one day he'll have a big feast for everyone in Vrindavan, all the Brajabasis or the Dambasis. And he has one servant who's traveling with him. He carries like a wooden peg. The peg, you know, like, because he will pitch tent or something wherever he stops. He doesn't have a residence. So his servant says, I've never seen him pass. I've never seen him went to the latrine. And he doesn't wear anything. He's like a sadhu. Nowhere any, no clothes, no like sannyasi clothes, only 2 pieces of cloth for his underwear. Kopin. But he's very advanced. Very advanced. And when he saw Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he says, oh, here comes a manjari. Here comes a manjari. He can identify Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He is what he called indifferent. He's not affected by anything. But he's in the topmost level of bhakti. In our line of disciplic successions, there are many examples. Even Jagannath Das Baba, or Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he would be doing his bhajan, and the materialistic people, they will come and visit him and to ask for akshabad, for blessings. Maharaj, give me your blessings. But he knows, Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he knows that these people, they're just asking blessings for material benefits. So he will chant near the latrine. He will chant. He will be there near the latrine so that no one will follow him. All of these different materialistic personalities, they just bother him. So he doesn't want to be bothered. Usually the materialists, they just want to touch your feet, or they want to ask for blessings. But devotees, when they ask for blessings, should be, how can I have a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord? How can I have that inner desire only to please Guru and Kṛṣṇa? So this is proper. So the devotees of the Lord, they are indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas, simply because they're performing devotional service to the Lord. Okay, we stop here. You have any other comments or points? Any reflections or anything? Yes, sir. Go ahead. Where's the mic?
Thank you for the class. Maybe you can elaborate a little more how we can practice this 24 hours service, that we not only sleep but also going to mobility and going to lunch after lunch. Maybe give some more examples how to practice this. What should be the meditation that?
If you are thinking of Kṛṣṇa, for everything that you perform, for whatever you do, it doesn't matter what kind of service it is, that is Kṛṣṇa consciousness, 24 hours. It's like we have devotees. As soon as they get up, the whole day they're just engaged in different activities. The bodily demands, the senses demands are being on the side. They don't. Maya doesn't have 1 inch to get through, because they're so absorbed in service to the Lord and His devotees. There is no room for Maya. You must have experience of that, don't you? Huh? The secret here is to keep yourself engaged. It's not that you engage for 3 hours and then for 5 hours you are idle. Even idle, turn on Prabhupada's lecture. Okay? And if you're, that is up to a certain extent, you can change, you can read. Up to a certain extent, you can chant. Up to a certain extent, you go to the temple. Up to a certain extent, you go visit other temples also. But for us, we're engaged here in the Krishna Balaram Mandir. We don't have time to go to Loy Bazaar. When I go to Loy Bazaar, he says, Maharaj, where have you been? I says, I've never been anywhere. I'm in Vrindavan. I probably go there once or twice a year only. But some devotees, they go there every day. I know someone who goes there every day. I ask him, Prabhu, where are you? Maharaj, I'm somewhere. Where are you? Maharaj, I'm buying something. Where? Loy Bazaar. If you want to forget Kṛṣṇa, you go to Loy Bazaar. Because when you're there, oh, this is nice chadar. Oh, this is nice sari. Oh, this is nice kurta. But it's okay. Once in a while, you can go to those places. But what I mean is that when you are engaged, I'm telling you, I've been here for like, what, 20 years now? It goes so fast. It's only like last week. The 20 years. As if I didn't live, I didn't go anywhere. Not so difficult if you really want to be engaged. Sometimes I will give 5 programs in one day in Vrindavan. 3 classes and 2 kirtans. I did it one time. I got sick the other day, the next day. I felt sick. It's not so difficult if you really want to do it. And Prabhupada is like that, 24 hours. And he says by the end of the day, oh, just nice hot puri and milk. This is perfect. This is perfect. How you can do it? Less eating also. Devotees, we're not supposed to eat after sunset. I met Jains. You know Jains? Yeah, I met one of the. There are two types of Jains. I met one of the leaders of one of the Jains. I offered him. I went to visit him. He came to Vrindavan. I offered him a box of Mahaprasad. He just touched it. No, they don't eat. Their senses are fully in control. You know, James, the one that has, they always have mask even if there is no COVID. All the time. All the time. They have like this. Mona Brat or something. And they're engaged also, but a different kind of engagement. But devotees, I've seen devotees that who really work hard.
They will not use vehicles also.
Huh?
They will go to places by walking.
Really? Yeah, I've seen them on the road like that. They go like that. Very austere. Our austerity actually is that chanting of the holy name of the Lord. That is the most austere. To chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Because we don't have taste. But we have to do it. There's so many activities. Prabhupada gave us all the facilities, everything that we need to be equipped to be Krishna conscious. And always remember this word and practice yourself. Indifferent. Not be affected, but you are concerned. But at the same time, you are not affected by the result. This is, a sannyasi is supposed to be indifferent. That is one of the qualities of a sannyasi. Indifference. One time, I did a program. It was in Dubai. First time I went to Dubai. And somebody gave me an envelope as donation. So when I felt, oh, this looked very thin. So when I reached the place where I'm staying, I open it up and there is no donation inside. The person forgot to put the money in there. So I didn't curse the person. I didn't say, you guy, I'm gonna get you. No. One time in the Philippines, I get my initiation in sannyas. So immediately after Kartik, I went to the Philippines. So we went to a program. It was an Indian gentleman. So it was his birthday. Okay? So the next day we were leaving, and he was giving donations to everyone. And I was, it's like, I'm not saying, hey, where is my donation? So we left the place, and I did not get a donation. Everybody got a donation. I didn't say, hey, Prabhu, where is my donation? No. Indifference. So we left, and then after some time, I told one of the devotees who's with me, it's okay. Indifference. You try to practice this for all your dealings, for everything, and that is being transcendental. You're not affected, but you are concerned, and you like to do something also. But if you cannot do anything, Krishna's arrangement.
But I was just thinking, there is engagement and engagement. For example, if I'm engaged here, I go programs and later reading, japa, parikrama, later even class. All this is also engagement. But when I come back, but now I feel like I'm enjoying because I don't surrender. You said 5-3 classes a day. They ask you, this is your surrender, but I'm doing what I want.
No, just to go to a class, you are surrendering there. You have to be present. Being present, that means you're a surrender. It's like I was talking here for like an hour or so. Just to try to hear, try to listen, that is surrendering. Of course, I may be talking here, but if your mind is somewhere else, then that is not surrender. Physically, mentally, you should be here with us. Because if you just go in a kirtan, and your mind is somewhere else thinking of many, many things instead of being absorbed in the holy name, then that is not surrender. Right? So physically you must be there, and mentally, spiritually. When you chant the holy name, it's like that. Surrender means becoming absorbed on the chanting. That is surrender.
Just in comparison, there is an even monastery, sadhana bhakti, I need to do this and this and this, even even what I must do. But here I manage my this and maybe ever remains this, that I do what I want. Even I go, but I go whenever I want. But there I must do this and I do this.
Yeah, this is, in the beginning is a must. You should do. It's a must, even if you don't like it. Because in this way you'll become regulated. It's like a child in the beginning. In the beginning, the parent will go with the child to go to the school. The child doesn't want to go to the school, right? But after some time, the parent doesn't have to go with the child. The child would like to go. In the beginning, child doesn't want. We are like that in the beginning. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to go. It's against us, but this is austerity. Against our will, but I have to do it because I know that there is a higher purpose I want to achieve. But as I said again in the class the other day, even if you are here, you need a guide. You cannot just go freely, do whatever you like and do because it could be dangerous. Remember I said that in the class?
You said you should have a mentor.
Yes.
So I wanted this is what even the class. So this is very good advice, but how to apply this?
You have to search. And what is my reply again? Depends on your sincerity inside. If you're genuine inside, you'll find a genuine one. If you just want to, play a little bit around, you'll get what you paid for. This is what I said in the class, right? You got what you paid for. So if you're sincere, Krishna will show you that person. If one is here and he cannot remain, he's not be able to. But just by coming to the class, Krishna Balaram Mandir, our classes here is like nowhere else. I've been to Mayapur. Their class is okay, but our classes here is like a little bit more in the, you know, the quality of the classes here is 100 times more than anywhere else. You just be there, be absorbed, try to apply what you've heard. That devotee who gave the class is your teacher, is your guru. At that time, when you follow what he said, he's like a Siksha guru. Don't follow your mind. That's the problem here. Many people or many devotees just follow their mind. They get lost. I've seen it. They go to Radhakund. They think they'll find Radharani there. No, they don't last. They come back. They go back to the place where they belong. Oh, that's confirmed. I've seen many devotees like that. We don't go outside of the four walls of the Krishna Balaram Mandir. Oh, we go to Goshala. We don't. No. We go if there is a parikrama or something, but to roam around and thinking that, oh, maybe Kṛṣṇa is here. Prabhupada, one time there was one devotee, he's chanting Krishna Balaram 3. You know? He said, oh, I want to chant over there. No, do you think you'll find Kṛṣṇa there? No. You come back here, you chant with the devotees here. I'm sorry. That is, for those who are in Vrindavan, you take advantage. I've seen devotees, they're in Vrindavan and they're chanting with the Zoom every day. So you just absorb there. You just wanted to show that you are there with other Zoom members. Have you seen those devotees like that? I'm sorry. They're already in Prabhupada's room, Prabhupada's house, and they still have their Zoom. But Prabhupada is there. You chant with Prabhupada. It's a distraction, this thing. I'm sorry. If you're not in Vrindavan, maybe you're, you want to get association from different devotees, that's fine. But you are here. This is, what more can you get a better association? Okay? Srila Prabhupada K.